So today we'll be talking about simultaneous equations. I'll be showing you two types of equations, but I'll be able to do just one. In that video we'll come back and then we do more. Now let's start from the meaning of simultaneous equation. Now first thing is to define the subject, which is equation. What is an equation? An equation is a mathematical expression that has two sides separated by an equal to sign. So for instance, we have maybe x plus 2 equals 4. As you can see, we have two sides, a left hand side and a right hand side. Now equations can vary. They can come in powers, they can have more than one variable, and the likes. Example of such is maybe x plus y equals 4. Now this is an example of what? Two variables. Now one thing we are focused on is what? Not just an equation, but a simultaneous equation. So let's talk about what makes an equation simultaneous. Now when you have probably x plus 2 equals 4, and also you are told that in that same scenario x minus 1 equals 1. Now what this is saying is that these two equations have the same answer. Whatever x is in the first equation is also what x is in the second equation. Why? Because they are simultaneous. That means they happened together, they are related. It means that if we want to be sure of our answer, we have to work together. In this case, we don't really have to do much. As you all know, 2 plus 2 will give us 4, and 2 minus 1 will give us 1. So x is simply 2. So we don't usually do simultaneous equations for things like this. So now what do we do simultaneous equations for? We do simultaneous equations for questions like this. Questions where we have two unknowns. In this case, x and y. Hold on a bit. So an example is this: 2x minus 3y equals 5, and 4x plus 5y equals minus 1. Now before we attempt this, let's talk about types of simultaneous equations. Now the first type we have, not exactly the first, like the first of two, is the substitution method. And the second is the elimination method. So now I'm going to start with the elimination method. Sorry I didn't write it as number 1, but it is what it is. So let's start with the elimination method. Now what makes this fun is it's just like a game. You kill something kills something, shoot something. Yeah, it's almost like an OD. So now we're gonna try and eliminate something. Now what in specific? Now imagine this question. We have x and y. Ordinarily, if you have x plus 2 equals 4, you could easily get your answer saying x equals to 4 minus 2 equals 2. Very easy. But now in this case, it's different. We have x and y. So to level the playing ground, we want either x to cancel itself out or y to cancel itself out. Now, from the law of cancelling things out, we know that x cancels x, y cancels y, x cannot cancel 2x, y, they are not equal. Now the principle here is only 2x can cancel 2x, and so on and so forth. Now, one other thing we need to know is that this is the magnitude of what can cancel this. They have to be the same, not just in magnitude, but also they have to have opposite signs. It means if this is a plus, this must be a minus. Why? Okay, if you have a plus 2 and the minus 2, what do you have? 0. If you have a minus 2 and the minus 2, you would have what? A minus 4. Nobody's going out. Don't forget, the aim is to what? Eliminate. If you have a plus 2 and a plus 2, you have a plus 4. So now, obviously, one has to be negative and the other has to be positive. Similarly, if you have a plus 2x and a minus 2x, then it can be 0. If you have a plus 3y and a minus 3y, the outcome will be what? 0. So now, looking at our question, you can see that the magnitude of 2x in the first equation, let's call this equation 1, this equation 2, and the first equation is 2x. But in the second equation, this is 4x. We have a problem. Similarly to the first equation, we have what? 3y, or to be precise, not just 3y, negative 3y. The minus sign in front of 3y is attached to 3y, not to 2x. So we have a minus 3y and we have a plus 5. But actually, don't think about the sign now. Just focus on the magnitude. We have a 3y and a 5y. So the question is, how do we make any of the variables the same? Now, we have to choose. Either we want x out of the picture or y. Some people just prefer x. They are used to x is equals to. So let's eliminate x. Now, don't forget, we want x, the x's to be the same. Now, there's a very simple way to do this. The coefficient, which is 2, of the first equation should be multiplied by the second equation, and the coefficient of the second equation, which is 4, should be multiplied by the what? First equation. Why? When you combine 2 times 4, you get an 8. So if you multiply the first equation by the coefficient of the second equation, we would have 4 times everything in the first equation. And similarly, we do the same for the second equation. What will we multiply all through? The coefficient of the first equation. Good. 2. So we do 2 times, we have 4x plus 5y. 4x plus 5y equals minus 1. Now I have to open my bracket. The first equation, what do we have? We have 4 times 2x will give us 8x. 4 times minus 3y will give us what? Minus 12y. And 4 times 5 will give us what? 20. Now let's do the same for the second equation. 2 times 4x will give us what? 8x. And 2 times 5y would give us what? 10y. And 2 times minus 2 will give us what? A minus 2 times a minus 1 will give us what? A minus 2. So we have equation 2 also set. Now, what can you see? What do you notice? Let me draw a demarcation. Okay, what do you notice? The magnitude of our x values are now the same. Yes. So you see the effect of multiplying each of the what? Each of the coefficients of the intended variable we want to eliminate. We chose to eliminate x, not y. And now they are the same. They are ready for elimination. Now what is left to do? The sign. As we could see in the first equation, we have a positive 8x. In the second equation, we also have what? A positive 8x. So how does 8x, a positive 8x and a positive 8x eliminate themselves? Let's see it. Positive 8x, another positive 8x. So now the only way is introducing a sign in between them. Now which sign can we introduce in between them? Is it a plus or a minus? We know that a minus times a plus would give us what? A minus. If we make it a plus, it will be plus times plus. It won't change anything. It still remain the same. So we have to introduce a minus such that our plus 8x would have to open its bracket, so to say, and we say a plus times a minus will give us a minus. So I'm not going to write it there. This is not the way we're doing to the calculation. We just want to confirm that a minus is the best sign. Actually, it's either between a minus or a plus, but in this case it is a minus that will make 8x to eliminate the other 8x. Why? It's a positive 8x. So the positive 8x would eliminate the what? Other positive 8x only if we have a negative sign. If we have a positive sign, it will be 16x. We are going nowhere. Now we've agreed it is going to be a minus. Now going back to our question. Now, since we agreed as a minus, we have to indicate it. So I have to change the color of my pen. So we agreed it to be a what? A minus. Now this means we have to put, we have to effect the minus all through, starting from our 8x, being the fact that it's the first from the left. So 8x minus 8x. Some people like it this way, so I think along the way you become a pro. I would have done that in my head, but let's do it outside. 8x minus 8x. Then we have no, I wouldn't put a bracket. A bracket wouldn't do justice. We have to do this straight. 8x minus 8x. If you need to work it out, you have to just come to your workspace. 8x minus 8x, and you get a 0. Come here and put what? A 0. This is more simpler. The next one you have is minus 12y and what? 10y. Don't forget this. The sign in between them is what? Minus. So you come here. Minus 12y. My working sheet is becoming. Wait, hold on. Let me address that. So let's go on. I've been able to wipe my board. So we have 12 minus 12y and plus 10y. Don't forget the sign between them is what? Minus. So all you need to do is to put this in brackets and open your bracket. So we have a minus 12y. Minus times plus will give us what? A minus. And we have a 10y. That will give us a final answer of a minus 22y. So I'll come here. Minus 22y. And the last but not the least is the numbers on the other side, which is 20 and minus 2. So 20 and what? Minus 2. Don't forget the sign in between them is what? Minus. And open our bracket. We have 20 plus 2, which will give us what? 22. And we come back here and put what? 22. And 0 minus 22y will give us minus 22y equals 22. At this point, we have to divide both sides by the coefficient of y, which is what? Minus 22. So simply doing that, we have a final answer. This goes here 1, this goes here 1, 22 here 1, 1. So we have y equals, don't forget we have a negative sign here. So y equals minus 1. Ta-da! So we've gotten one of the variables. Now to get the other variable, we have to substitute. We have to what? Substitute. Now we have options of where to substitute. Now you could see we have an initial value of the first equation, which is 2xy minus 3y equals to 5. Similarly, the second equation, and you have the augmented one, the one where our 8x can eliminate the other 8x. Don't forget. Now someone asks, sir, do I substitute y in the first original equations? I'll tell you, either ways you get your answer. You choose the first, you choose the second, you're gonna get your answer. So let's pick something small, because that's what I would do. I want to pick something small, something that looks like it won't be difficult. So as I said, we're substituting minus 1 into the first original equation. Why? Because it's the simplest. You could do anyone, but for me, instinctively, I go for the simpler one. So let's write 2x minus 3y below 2x. So let's substitute in equation 1, the OG, the original. So we have 2x minus 3y equals 5. 2x minus 3y equals 5. So anywhere we see a minus y, you put a minus 1. Now some people will just want to put 2x minus 3 and put minus 1. You are wrong. Why? The relationship between 3 and y is multiplication. I repeat again, the relationship between 3 and y is what? Multiplication. So what do you do instead? Since you don't have a variable again, you put a bracket sign and you put your substitute inside. Equals what? 5. Now open your bracket, you have 2x plus 4. See me, 2x plus 3 equals 5, and finally we take our 3 to the other side, and we have 2x equals 2. Divide both sides by 2 and your answer is equal to 1. Normally I could say yay, but are we sure our answer is correct? Are you sure? That's what happens to many students in their exam hall. They wish they could just see their teacher and say, hey sir, am I correct? Just tell me yes. Now you can know without your teacher. All you need to do is to test. Now how do we test? We already know that our x equals to 1 and our y equals to a minus 1. So this is a demarcation mark. So now we need to just pick any equation. Usually don't pick the first one. I know you have the original and the augmented. Just pick, let's just go with the second original equation, which is what? 4x plus 5y equals to minus 1. It's simpler. 4x plus 5y equals to what? Minus 1. To test, 4x plus 5y equals to minus 1. So now we are going to substitute our x and our y values into this equation such that when we put our x value here and our y value here, if our answer is truly correct, we should get a minus 1. So let's check. We have a 4. What's our x? 1. And 5. What's our y? Minus 1. You could see me put them in bracket. When they are variables, you don't need to put them in bracket, but when they are numbers, you put them in bracket. If not, you will get something very wrong. So now what you do? 4 times 1 is 4, and plus 5 times minus 1 will give you a minus 5. Now will this give us minus 1? Yes, we have a final answer of a minus 1. Now we are done with this question. Now the video is a bit long, but the aim of this video is to be able to explain the foundation, the pattern to solving the elimination method of a simultaneous equation. With this video, if you are attentive, you should be able to say you understand the patterns. Now in subsequent videos we do other variants of questions you can have, but I can assure you the patterns of solving wouldn't be different. Once you understand this, those will just be easy. You just need to just see me do it and you would be able to do it. But if you don't understand this, oh my god, it will be very difficult. So please listen again if you have to, like, share, and I'll see you in the next video. You have a wonderful day. Bye.